Originally released in late 1986 for the PC-8801 in Japan only. Came out in 1988 once Sierra got their greedy little hands on it. In the Western market, released for MS-DOS. It's called Silpheed. The reason I wanted to review this one was the same reason I wanted to review Bonkers a little while ago, is because I had the false memory of this being my favorite shoot-'em-up of all time. This is a false memory, however, once I played it. It's by no means my favorite shoot-'em-up. And the reason I thought it was my favorite shoot-'em-up was because I thought it was sort of easy. No, not easy in the sense that it's like something a kid could play or something, but easy in the sense that I played it once, and I got a certain amount of the way, and I died. And I came back to it the second time, and I went straight through the fucking game. And there is a game out there, it must be on my hard drive somewhere, that is that game, but this is not the game. Bonkers was the same way. I played that because I had just done all these intricate videos, and honestly, I did not get anywhere near the amount of respect I wanted for those videos, like World Circuit. Did not get the attention I wanted those to get. Since I had done these larger videos, I figured, why not do some easier videos, like Bonkers? That's a kid's game, okay, that's gonna be easy, right? Bonkers did not turn out to be easy. It's it falsely allures you in with the sense that it's gonna be a kid's game, but it ranks up the difficulty pretty damn hard. This is another one. I played this thinking this would be a nice, easy game for me to go right into after these longer videos, and god damn it, it fucked me hard. This is not the game I was thinking of. This is a hard bastard of a fucking game. And, yeah, but I persevered, and I'm gonna win this motherfucker. I guarantee it. Now, upon playing this game again, I believe the reason I originally got this game was because of the MT-32, which is a very non-common musical peripheral for MS-DOS, which not too many people had back then. Not too many people have it right now. But it makes games sound just absolutely fantastic compared to what most people had for MS-DOS back then, which was just crappy either PC speaker or ad-lib / sound blaster. Now, this is a little different, and I think I got it just because this really makes the MT-32 shine. In Cosmic Century 3032, Earthmen found an alien ship. After analyzing it, the human race began venturing into outer space. A short while later, the United Universe was founded. But with the large human population on other planets, the number of outlaw planets was increasing. The anti-United Universe leader, Xacalite, raided our shipyard and captured Glori, our newest battleship. Next, Xacalite raided the United Universe Force defense complex and stole planetary buster missiles. Having received the emergency code from the defense complex, the UUF command knew the urgency of these guerrilla operations. There is no time to muster the fleets. The computer has ordered an attack upon Glori by SA-08 Silpheed. It is the best ship we have. We need a pilot. I really wish science fiction would stop using words nobody can pronounce. Can you complete this mission? So upon finishing what I do believe is one of the greatest intros from the 80s, definitely, you are greeted with this thing here. Using the PC speaker. Oh my god. Oh dear god. Were they trying to sound like alien there? Mission accomplished if that was the case. I honestly don't know. If you were trying to sound like anything resembling coherency, you failed miserably there. PC speaker, oh god. Terrible. And just imagine hearing that through an actual, PC speaker coming out of the tower itself. Which I have mine connected, directly to my sound card, so it sounds heavenly compared to what it would sound like having going through the fucking tower itself. So just keep that in mind, just how terrible that sounded, and how much more terrible it would sound if it was actually going through as intended. So this, everyone, is Silpheed. It's really just a standard space shooter of the time. using 16 color EGA graphics. Nothing too special to write home about in terms of the graphic department. Now, it did look better on the original hardware, the PC-8801 in Japan. Definitely gave it almost Amiga-ish kind of look. And this game, I read that it was released for the Amiga. I have never come across it. I cannot find it on the Amiga. I don't see any mention of it anywhere on the web for actually coming out on the Amiga specifically, but I guess Sierra had plans, but knowing Sierra and the lazy bastards they were, if it wasn't as easy as a snap of the finger, they did not bother to port it. As the music changes here, we are faced with our first boss battle. And the boss battles here are very, very imaginative. Nothing other than difficulty towards the later end of the game. There's not too much bad to say about them. They are very fun to deal with. On defeating any boss, you land on one of several different types of ships where you can change your weapons depending on your score. And obviously, we do not have a good enough score yet to change our weapons, so we're stuck with the pea shooters in the front here for now. Now, for gameplay mechanics, obviously, it's a fucking shooter, so, plug in your joystick or your gamepad or whatever, you go all directions, and you have the fire button. That's all you got. How far you can get in this game is really dependent on the power-ups, and the power-ups come in these little asteroid-like looking red balls every once in a while. You shoot them, and they will give you different speed-ups like auto-fire, different kind of shield enhancements and stuff like that. And that's pretty much, that's your power-up system, other than when you defeat the bosses and you have a certain amount of score. Then you get to increase your weapon, which is the real treat of the game, is getting better weapons. The ship that we are landing here looks a little different than the last one. Check the manual and it will say exactly what the difference is between all these ships. It's a okay, short manual, but nice read nonetheless. I definitely recommend the manual. And here is a very cool, very awesome little feature. I am heavily impressed with this sequence right here. Now, as you see, slowly gaining head there in the foreground, in the front there, is what is EGA trying its best to produce some kind of like a planetary movement kind of effect. Now, if you look really closely, you can kind of see some craters. This is a planet. This is just, we are slowly diving into the atmosphere of a planet right now. And we're just slowly going across while we're shooting. This is a planetary mission, and this is for EGA 16 color graphics. I don't know what the fuck they're pulling off right here, but I am impressed looking at it today. When I look at this, I see nothing but, it makes my jaw drop for some reason. In all honesty, it's just blue and it's black. There are two colors there, maybe three, and it's running choppy as all hell, but for some reason I look at it and I'm genuinely impressed by what I see. And that's the first time I died there. Now, the thing about this fucking game is when you have one life, and when it says game over, that's it, buddy. End credits, death. You're dead. One fucking life. You want to go back, and you got to play every single level again. unless you read the manual, of course, which I did not do originally upon playing this game. So when you see me here playing this again, this is having played the first 3 levels all over again, which really is a pain in the ass. And I went through about half the game playing it like that, too, before I finally realized, guess what, guys? If you read the manual, you can just press F9. Press F9, and it will return you to the furthest place you got the last time you played. So that is a feature built into the game, but you wouldn't know that unless you read the manual, which, of course, not too many people do anymore. This game is by no means done impressing us with that little planetary mission that we just had. Now we are going into this huge base area, going into the Death Star, apparently. And again, it's another very, very weird, impressive-looking thing that you're not quite sure what to make out of when you first see it. But yeah, this is just us going through a ship. going through some sort of a carrier, and yeah, this game, it impresses. It does impress with its once you understand that this is just EGA graphics, of course with that killer soundtrack, it really helps. The soundtrack really helps you. But once you really dive into the fact that this is just 16-color puke EGA graphics, and some of the shit they're pulling off here, it's really impressive. And the gameplay is never stale. It's never stagnant. It always, just when you think, oh god, another fucking level of just shooting the same goddamn shit, it pulls an atmospheric mission on you. Then it pulls this little base mission on you. And of course, the boss battles are always unique and different, and it really always leaves you on the tip of your toes. So far, it's actually it starts off as a very hard game. It really leaves you with so few tools, and until you get a certain high score, you're really stuck, and you're gonna die a lot. Always remember F9 to get back to where you stopped. As you see, like, I'm kind of like, the ship is kind of like, woo, woo, woo. It's falling apart. It's falling to pieces, as you can see, because I've lost all my shields. One hit and I'm dead, and at this point I'm still playing the entire game over until you see this footage ahead of you. So I haven't figured out the F9 thing yet. So lots of deaths, lots of frustration. This game is starting to piss me off at this point. I've been saying a lot of nice things about it so far, but it actually is a very, very difficult game to start off with. And towards the middle of the game, it actually gets kind of decent. It's kind of nice to play in the middle of it. Then towards the end, it's terrible. But here's a little interlude, a little intermission. There's several little intermissions. Every once in a while, you beat a certain stage, certain level, and you get this nice little musical intro. There's so many different musical members. You hear that? Again, now this is like this is another level. Again, you think, okay, we're just going to do another space shooter. No, instead, they trick you again by throwing you all these asteroids just coming straight at you on this whole thing. So this level is all about asteroids just flying at your face. And it never fails to give you something different. And all the boss battles, they're all different. It really is something else, but I have to say, I think by this point I am starting to get pissed off at the game, because I did not know that F9 thing yet. So I've been playing the game over and over and over again, which has been a pain in the ass. And this game is a very, very hard game, and it's gonna leave you quite pissed off. And this game actually got almost universal praise from all the reviews I can find of it, from its original releases on the PC to its Sega CD release later on. This was released on the Sega CD as a vastly different game, which I think I will review that at some point, because I've played that game too a lot. But it was released on the Sega CD as a vastly different, like, full motion video background kind of space shooter. It's very, very different. Other than the name and the overall theme, it's very, very different in this game. But all incarnations of this game have gotten outstanding reviews. The least is like 89%. Quite a few of them, 5 out of 5 stars, 95 and above %. This is a game that got very high praise at the time. Go to the end of a Computer Gaming World review of Silpheed. Silpheed is exhilarating, nerve-wracking on the screen excitement. So, if you want to fly through the universe, blasting evil in all directions, save the minions from terrible tyranny of the ruthless Xacalite, and bring peace to the mighty Milky Way Union, then slip into the cockpits of the Silpheed destroyer and go for it. Computer Gaming World, 1989, August. You might have heard me in the background go, it's because this game is, at this point, getting hard, especially these guys that got the lasers out on me. These lasers go right through your fucking shields in no time, and you're dead. So, this game definitely is getting hard, and now the second time I finally got past that little area there, I'm getting to this boss, and I've decided to use one of my lasers there, and it's just fucking hard now. The best overall weapon in this game has got to be the auto-aiming guns, and will be listed last on your weapons list because it is the best. But there are certain areas where the laser cannon will actually be the best weapon, and you gotta play them and then die enough to figure out which of these levels should I use the laser cannon on, which of these should I use the auto fire on. This is actually a hard part of the game because I think the game is expecting me to have a higher score than I have, and by now maybe it's thinking I have all the best weapons, which I don't yet have all the best. I have all the best weapons on the one side of the ship, the other side I don't have enough score yet to have those weapons. So this is definitely a hard part of the game here when you don't quite have all of your power-ups yet. The game will get very nice and playable actually after you get a certain score and you get all of those weapons on both sides. I'd say from area 10 to area about 17, 16 or something, you'll have a few stages where it's nice. And here's another intermission scene with some nice music playing. Just a nice little intermission there. Oh, they do have some fantastic little tiny simple cutscenes for you, which I really appreciate. And the music, oh my god, the music in this game is always just Sierra. I will always give you credit for that. I don't always like Sierra. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't always like the company as a whole. We're going to speed up the footage here just to give you an idea of all the shit I went through for the rest of the game here. But I don't like Sierra as a whole. I really don't. Just believe their design as a whole. Even back in the day, magazines were pointing at them. They were saying, like, this stuff is unacceptable. And they did it anyway. It's just the way they wanted to do things. And I just didn't appreciate how they designed a lot of games. I love the stories of these, King's Quest games and such. And I love the soundtracks, but I didn't love Sierra. I thought they could have done so much better back in the day, and they didn't. I believe is the best little intermission / musical interlude. Oh, it's just so triumphant feeling. So triumphant feeling. Passing Jupiter, and we're coming home. We're gonna beat this motherfucker out. And the game just gets incredibly difficult towards the end. Brutally so. And it's trying to train you for the final boss battles. And the final boss battle is, well, it's a boss rush. It's all of the worst bosses you can imagine from the game, one after another. And then finally, a brand new boss, which is so many different things. And here it is. Here's the start of the boss rush, which, it's an utter pain in the ass. And you really gotta... I played this thing, I must have played it 50 times over that, and this boss rush is so goddamn hard. Eventually, you can kind of get a feel for it, but you're gonna play it quite a lot, I'm gonna tell you right now. And this is one that I thought about giving up on. I honestly wasn't ready to give up on it. Best, I feel, to show you the entire game. That's my goal, because I just do not like reviews that do like 5 minutes of it, say, oh, this is a great game or this is a shitty game, and they don't take the time to appreciate what kind of a game it actually is by playing it through all of the way. And I'm telling you, cannot truly appreciate a game's difficulty or easiness or greatness factor unless you play it through the complete way. And these games are 20, 30 years old. Forget about fucking spoilers by now. Fuck the goddamn spoilers. Spoilers don't mean dick with these old games. Just fucking play them, okay? If you haven't gotten the interest in them by now, you'll never get it. So just play them all. Play it through the entire way. And I just don't appreciate reviews that don't do these old games justice by not showing the entire game, by not trying their goddamnedest to complete it. And some of these games back then especially are so goddamn hard. It's not easy to defeat these games. And I do my best, but I haven't beaten all the games I've reviewed. Some of them are just too damn hard. Some of them you don't want to complete. They're just bad games or whatever, and you don't feel the need to defeat them. This game, from the moment I pressed it in, I knew it wasn't the game I wanted it to be. It wasn't a shooter or whatever that I thought it was originally, but this game very quickly made me want to defeat it just because of the glorious music, and it is a fun game overall. It's a pain in the ass. despite what you hear me say in the background there, I actually do enjoy this game a little bit. But this boss battle, you know, the boss rush of all the most difficult bosses over and over again. And finally it brings you to Glori here, and it's just one section after another. It's just another impossible section after another impossible section. Here we are trying to defeat these mines while we got things coming on the fucking background. They're blowing up and just throwing all this shrapnel over at our ass. It's a pain in the ass. And then we finally get a little further, you know, and then there's more crap coming at us. You know, each step of the way, we got through all these 5 different boss rush battles just to come to this thing, to have another 5 different sections of the damn thing. And we gotta, you know, go through it all yet. And it's a pain in the ass. And you kind of got the feel for it. It's not even memorization so much as it is lasers. You kind of feel like, okay, they're going to come to the left, and they're going to go to the left a little more. You just got to get the right feel for that first laser section. And then you come to this mine section where you got to be aware of the ship sending out these extra little things that are going to explode. And then you got to just kind of move away from them a little bit. Get out of the way of that shrapnel while you continue to concentrate on those mines. And it's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I finally did get a hold of it in the end. And I still have a little bit of shields left, not quite there. And eventually, after like 50, 60 times of playing this, I was ready to quit. I quit it, you know, for days, and then I came back to it. I'm like, I really want to beat this game legitimately. And I just kept trying, and what did you know, I eventually got through with it. And yeah, here's another section. This section, I don't know what the hell the goal is. I think it's just trying to get the hell away from everything. Try not to die. I don't think we're actually trying to hit anything. We're just trying to get the hell away from everything, and it's close. It's coming close. You know how damn great I got at this game towards the end in order to get through all those boss rushes and Glori here. I got through all of that, and my shields are down at the lowest they could possibly be. And there it is. Finally defeated the bastard. And you can hear me in the background. That is the relief I felt. Finally beating this goddamn game. So we finally get this little end sequence here with the explosion of Glori in the background, ship Silpheed right there in the foreground, and going to warp speed, I guess there. Nice little PC speaker there. You have just defeated Xacalite and Glori. Now the galaxy is filled with great peace. But what? What, Ken Williams? What, Mr. Ken Williams? Huh? But what? Yeah, that was one of the worst endings I've ever seen in a video game. I gotta say, it ranks right up there with Ghostbusters, and congratulations. It ranks right up there in terms of terrible endings. Especially for a game that has so many awesome little end sequences and such. You know, it had all these little like interludes, intermissions. You know, like it really made you feel like you were building up to something great. And by the end, it wouldn't let you down. And my God, did this game fucking let me down at the end? Fucking goddamn. And then Ken Williams gets the fucking first credit. Sierra Online executive producer Ken Williams, #1 credit. #1. He didn't have anything to do with the goddamn game. He bought the goddamn game from Japan. He's #1 in the credits. #1. Tells you all you need to know about my feelings, my personal feelings regarding Sierra as a company, right there. Ken Williams didn't have anything to do with the game. #1 in the credits. But anyway, recommendations for this game. If you have the MT-32, you have to have this game. It is a must-have if you have the MT-32, which not many have. Otherwise, if you're into harder games and you want a game that's going to make you want to defeat it, even though it's brutally difficult, then you're going to want to play this game too, I think. But it's a good game overall, but I cannot recommend it for most people because it's going to have you pulling out your hair, and I think for most people, they're not going to want to play this game, and for most of the way, it's just not fun, because it's just too damn hard, and it's not even fun until the middle of the game. So, for most people, no, but for the select few, it's a great game. Silpheed for DOS. Goodbye.